YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Adrian the Barber. Got my boy Sean in the chair, and I'm about to do a high definition taper on him. As you guys can see, he's looking super rough, so we're gonna go ahead and get him together. I'm also gonna show you a step you should take if you want to elevate your services to the next level. First thing I'm gonna do, like I do in all my haircut videos, is I'm gonna shave down his head. I'm gonna take a number 2 blade, and I'm just gonna cut against the grain of the hair. And as I say in a lot of my videos, this is one of the most important steps because getting a nice, clean, crisp haircut all depends on how well you can get this hair to lay down. A lot of mistakes that I recognize in new barbers, young barbers, is they don't get the hair to lay all the way down. That can be to number 1, not brushing it enough once you cut all the hair off, or number 2, just not getting a nice, clean, even surface. Now, obviously we know like the fading is the fun part. We want to get to the lineup, we want to make the client look good, but don't overlook this part. I can't sit here and tell you enough how important it is, because a clean fade starts with a clean base to fade from. Now I'm gonna show you guys my secret, that one thing I do in my services to get my clients to keep coming back, make them want to tip extra, just keep them super happy, and that's a hot towel. A hot towel is great for when you do a lineup. It helps the lineup come a lot cleaner, helps get any of the grease out of the hair. If people have dry heads and a lot of dandruff, it helps clean that up a little bit. But I always like to, after I cut the hair down, I like to brush it, get it to lay down great, and then I used to take a hot towel and I put that hot towel on the client's head like you see me doing the video, leave it on for about 30-45 seconds or so, and then just kind of rub the towel on the head, just cleaning up, like I said, any dandruff flakes or anything like that. And this is also going to help lay that hair down. So after I get done with the hot towel, take this Cream of Nature Argan oil. It's like a conditioning spray. I like to spray it on and then just brush it into the hair. I get so many questions every day about how to build clientele, and that's obviously one of the bigger questions that new barbers have, is how can they build a clientele. And if you take this step right here with a hot towel conditioning spray, you're really showing your clients how much you care about the haircut and how well you want it to turn out, and they recognize that, and they're going to keep coming back. I guarantee if you get a new person in your chair and you go through this step, I guarantee they'll come back to you again. Now right here, I'm gonna start with the back taper, and first thing I'm gonna do is just create my guideline. We all know this is the main step when it comes to fading. In the future, I'm gonna do videos showing you guys how to fade without a guideline. That's something I've been wanting to teach you guys for a long time, but I mean, most people fade with a guideline, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. And so, as you can see here, I just have my detailers create that initial line, just go through cleaning it all up now. And another thing that's really important is when you're fading, and this is another thing I see a lot of new barbers do, is they don't completely get that area bald. If you want your fade to pop out, you want it to stand out, you got to get the area as bald as you possibly can. And as you can see here, I'm taking my 5-star shaver, Wall 5-star shaver, and I'm going in and I'm using it just to get all that stubble out and just clean up the area as best as I can. Now here I'm going to take my Andy's Fade Masters, not my Improved Masters, my Fade Masters. If you guys don't know the difference, I got videos on that in previous videos explaining the difference between the Fade Masters and Improved Masters. All I'm going to do is just open them up all the way. I'm going to create a second guideline. And now after I got that, I'm just going to start to work my lever down. First I'm going to close it all the way, and I'm going to start to blend out that initial line that I made with my detailers. As you can see, like when I'm fading in small places, I like to use the corners of my blades a lot. That's another thing I've talked about in past videos, is the corners of your blades. Can't stress the importance of that enough. It really helps to get out those small spots that are hard to blend. Use those corners, you can blend it out right away. And I'm just going in, I'm just picking out that line. As you can see, the hair is growing in a different direction. And a lot of times in the back of people's heads, the hair grows in different directions. It won't just grow straight down. And so you'll have to, you know, adjust your clippers to fade in that direction, against the direction and when the hair grows. And now I have my Andy's Improved Masters right here. And I'm doing the same exact step I just did with my Fade Masters. I'm opening up all the way and I'm making another guideline. And again, you'll see after I make that initial guideline, I'm just gonna work my clippers down now. And I'm just gonna work it back down to fade out that bottom line. So as you can see, I'm in the middle. Being really light-handed. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on the neck when I'm fading. I'm really just like feathering the hair. Another important thing to pay attention to like my technique when I'm fading. You see I'm doing a lot of wrist movement. I'm not flicking my clippers super hard, but I'm flicking it just enough to help blend out that line. And again here, I'm gonna take my Zero and this purple magnetic guard. These are the only guards I use with my Andy's clippers, and I don't use guards on the Fade Masters, only on the Improved Masters. I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna use the same steps I just used with my Fade Masters and with the Improved Masters with no guard. I'm gonna open them up all the way, and I'm not really creating a hard line right here. I'm just kind of going up and just flicking it out right above that line. And then I'm just gonna go back through and I'm gonna work my clippers down again so I can blend out this line right here that I'm working on. So after I finish up with my Zero guard, you know, it's a stair step, guys. I'm working my way up. I'm up to my 1 guard now, opening up all the way, and I'm not creating any line here at all. All I'm doing is trying to find any weight that I created with that Zero guard in the hair, and I'm just gonna go ahead and try to flick that out. I'm really just gonna play with my lever and just try to knock out any weight and get a smooth transition into the base that I created. And after I remove that guard, when I feel like I'm done with that 1 guard, I just go back and I'm just doing any cleanup work that I see now that the taper needs. And now the last step here to really make your taper pop out is the lineup. And so I'm gonna go in, you know, just find a natural line and go in and, you know, put a nice line on the back of the neck. Another thing is just make sure you're real gentle on the neck. You don't have to put a lot of pressure. If you adjust your clippers right, you shouldn't have to cut into the neck hard at all. You never want to cut a client, so always just be careful. Like I said, don't put a ton of pressure and just kind of let the clippers do their work. And then get over to the other side, do the same thing. Make sure you turn your client, look at him straight from behind and make sure you get that line straight. And now on my side taper, I'm gonna go through and use the same steps I just used with the back taper, except my guideline is gonna be a little different. So pay special attention to how I make this guideline, because when I go through and I line up the haircut at the end, I wanna have a nice defined C-cup line still. So I'm not gonna totally cut out the area, as you can see, that I left it behind right there. Now I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get this area as clean as possible, just like I said with the back taper. When it comes to tapering, make sure that you get all that hair out. I'm gonna use my 5-star shaver again, and I'm gonna clean up all that stubble, because I really want this taper to pop out at the end of the video. I really want you guys to see what a nice high definition taper looks like. And so these are the steps you have to take if you want to get there. Again, I'm gonna use my Fade Masters. I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna make a second guideline that I'm gonna eventually blend out. And I said steps that you have to take. They're not steps that you have to take. This is my process on how I do a high definition taper. Every barber is different. Every barber has their own style. This is just my style. And again, after I made that second guideline, with my Fade Masters. I'm gonna close them all the way, and now I'm gonna go in just using the corners, just starting to blend out that the initial guideline that I made with my T outliners, or not my T outliners, my wall detailers. Got too many clippers, man. I use so many different clippers in a day. I just get so confused sometimes. And again, I'm just playing with the lever, just going through, using what works to blend that line out. And now I'm back to my improved masters, no guard. I'm just gonna go through, I'm gonna do the same process I used in the back again. I'm gonna make a guideline, and I'm gonna play with my lever, and I'm gonna knock that guideline out. And as you can see now, I'm going all the way over to like where my C-cup line is, because these clippers aren't going to completely bald it, and so I'll still have enough hair to make a defined C-cup line at the end of the video when I get to the lineup. Again, pay attention to how I'm using the corners of my clippers. Man, I cannot stress enough how important it is to use the corners. You try to use like the middle of your blade for this, and you're definitely going to have this taper way higher than you wanted it. That's another great step when it comes to fading and tapering. A key point to remember is always know where your taper needs to begin and where your taper or your fade needs to end. And again, I'm in here using my Zero Andes guards. I have it all the way open and just slowly working it closed as I get back down to where my guideline is. And remember, I'm not using a ton of pressure. I'm not digging into his scalp. All I'm doing is just feathering the hair. Just flicking at where that line is and just feathering the hair. Now, when I was editing this video, it was getting way too long. So, I mean, if I would have showed you guys the other side, I'm only going to show you this left side. When it comes to fading it, if I would have showed you guys the other side, this would have been like a 30-minute video. And so remember, you just got to implement, it's the same steps. You know, what I'm doing over here on the left, I'm doing the same thing on the right. So I felt like I really didn't have to show you guys me fading the right side of the head. At the end, you'll see the full haircut, so, you know, I didn't think it really mattered for this video. I wanted to try to keep it short. I still got like 17 minutes out of it, but I didn't want to keep you guys for a half hour. Now again, after I finished up with my zero guard and then my no blade, I'm gonna move into my one guard, and I'm just gonna go in, like I said before, just trying to blend out any weight I see in the head. So as you can see, I got some dark spots. I just want to kind of go in and just knock those out and get a nice transition into the top of the head from the taper. And now the grand finale, the part everybody loves. This is what really makes your haircut stand out, the lineup. I'm just gonna take my time and just try to get a nice, straight, clean, crisp line. You can tell he hasn't had a haircut in a long time, and so I mean, we really have a fresh line to work with. And as you can see, I'm just grabbing the hairline, I'm just pulling it down, grabbing and pulling down. Being gentle. You can see my left thumb, I'm kind of pulling back at his scalp a little bit. Just tap and pull down. Another nice way to get a really clean, crisp line is to kind of cut that hairline down a little bit. I'll have to show you guys that in a future video. You can also use shears, but make sure that when you do your lineups, that you continually brush the hair down, because you want to get all those loose hairs that fall from the top of the head. You want them to fall over the line so you can cut them out. The last thing you want is to cut a nice clean line, and then your client goes home, brushes their hair, and you got hair falling over their hairline. Another trick I like to use is, you see how I lined up the top hairline first and now I'm doing the C cups. Now with that vertical line, I have 2 points. All I got to do is connect the top line with the C cup line. And that's why I left that vertical line for last. Some of you guys may already do that. If not, try it out. See if it helps out your lineups at all. And you can see I have the same technique no matter what line I'm cutting, the C cup, the vertical line, the main hairline. All I'm doing is tapping and I'm pulling away. I said it earlier in the video when I was doing the lineup on the back of the neck. You don't need a ton of pressure. You guys make sure that your clippers are adjusted properly. You don't want them too sharp to where they're just biting people and leaving marks all the time. And you don't want them too dull to where you feel like you have to apply a ton of pressure and they're not really cutting too much. As you guys are going to be able to tell here in my past videos, my future videos, the detailers and the T-outliners, my go-to liners, the only ones you're probably ever going to see me use. If you don't have yourself a pair of these T-outliners that are cut like this with top cut off, man, you got to get a pair. This is by far the best way to cut with T-outliners. I don't think I can ever go back to cutting with regular T-outliners again. I mean, really, you just go to Walmart, buy yourself a little saw, take your clippers apart, and cut them. It's that easy. You don't need to pay nobody to do it. But that's all I got for you guys in this video. This has been Adrian the Barber, showing you guys a high definition taper. I hope you guys learned a new technique, or for the first time learned the technique on how to taper. And if you got questions, make sure to go ahead and hit me up. Here's the final cut. You see this dude was looking crazy in the beginning of the video. Look at him now, super crispy. Go ahead and hit me up, y'all. This has been Adrian the Barber. I'm out.